G'day everyone. I'm glad David's just had his little talk and brought up that word again we keep hearing all day, and the word's feedback. We heard it a lot in John's talk this morning, and perhaps this is just 10 minutes on what's achievable if we do get that feedback in building websites and tools and apps. We can change things to make them more useful to you and hence delivering to your clients or growers. So this is just a quick talk on how the website's changed. A lot of you will be aware of these changes, but this is a screen dump from 2005 with the NVT website. A lot of you might not be familiar with that screen dump, but you'll notice several different things. First of all, you used to have to log in to actually use the NVT website, which lasted about 6 months before feedback got it removed. Still some common themes here: trial reports, predicted yield report. 2006 saw the first sort of effort to geo-reference trial sites through Where Is. Incredibly expensive for what it was, really slowed things down from what I understand. And again, back then, this was actually an online database rather than a website, so incredibly slow at a time when perhaps most people were using 48 kilobyte per second home telephone internet, which got incredibly frustrating and perhaps got a bit of a bad rep for the website. And we got more feedback. We then moved to this sort of a page in 2007, and because of the feedback about the timeliness of interrogating that database, Alan Bedgegood and ACAS moved things to a PDF reporting structure rather than interrogating the database, which sped things up incredibly. And again, the common themes are still there, but I guess in terms of streamlining access to information, for instance, if you were to click on New South Wales and then put in the crop that you wanted to know about, you actually got a 209-page PDF. Still incredibly slow to interrogate and get to the information that you want. It was at this point when people perhaps started to think life was too short to be on the NVT website. For good reason. 2010, we're on Google Maps and georeferencing through Google Maps. Firstly, free, really quick, easy to use. However, a bit cloudy with 650 trials to navigate. It was a little bit murky here, so obviously the use of a filter was important, and a postcode, crop, subcrop. And so this really sped things up, and we're now able to report those PDF reports at a site level, so at a site near you, as the catchphrase says. So basically you got the information for that site rather than a 209-page report trying to find out your relevant information. You'll see there the balloon which came along in this year, 2011. And so what we're trying to do now is make it one click to get onto the map, one click to click the site near you, and then you've got both long-term predictions as we discussed, this year's results. You're able to download that Excel chart, which then advisors or growers are able to use and manipulate and put into spreadsheets maybe information that's more relevant to their system. You've also got the other things that you might consider when choosing a variety. So you've got the disease ratings in one spot, a link to Variety Central so you can find out the EPR, over the fence trading, any of that sort of information. And also finally the crop links, which is the state publications, crop specific, the sowing guides, disease guides, which through feedback also we get really good, people are using this function as well, so they find that really useful. I'm just going to change gears a little bit and talk about the reporting in that PDF that we discussed, the single PDF. And as you can see, it used to be done in alphabetical order, which seemed fair. You don't want to put some varieties before others. However, again, to try and pick out this one, oh no, that one, it's, again, really incredibly slow, and people have got better things to do, so many decisions to make. There's Weed App to get onto. But we then moved to this highest to lowest system. And we went to a workshop run earlier in the year, and a Agro stood up and said, well, I read left to right, I don't want to read these low yielding things first, I want to see these ones. So it was easy. 20 minutes, we changed every report. Over 650 reports can be changed within 20 minutes. We've also seen this year the ability to put error bars on, and while that's a target we've been trying to get to for a couple of years. That was more related to the software and software package for producing those PDF reports. So we're now pretty pleased that we're able to get those up this year. In addition, we're able to put another axis on the graph, and you can see now how many trials of varieties been in for the metadata. This is just an extra level of information where people can gain or interpret their own level of confidence from how many sites of varieties been tested in. And so I guess when we're looking at a block of varieties like that, it can be a little bit daunting. I mean, and when you put error bars on, things get pretty close. So how do I make that next level of decision? How do I get there? And we've seen new projects in Western Australia where they're really looking at going back again and sort of interrogating that database. So you can put in my non-negotiables are, I want it to be within 99% of wild catch and say for wheat. I want the minimum disease rating of X, Y and Z in this classification, and then it spits out the yield graph after answering all those questions. So there's that style where you can take the extra time, or maybe we can start doing things with the reporting by colour coding by classification. That was one idea from last week where we put that up, but that's probably not my cup of tea looking like that, and I thought perhaps, is this something where we can group things together and instead have, say, all the AHs together, all the APWs. This is the sort of stuff we want to get feedback and make it more useful to you and more quicker to use so that you can get on, get off, get the information you want and move on to those other decisions. Going into the future, obviously there's a lot of social media buzz at the moment. As for NVT, perhaps this is a space we're going to be very patient in. Any sort of social media activity we enter into has to be useful. It can't be a gimmick. We're now at a stage where we're really getting good use of that website, and we want to continue to update and upgrade that before we move on to anything fancier. However, some of you may well have noticed this week just been, we sent out a text message to everybody on our CRM database, which really, again, due to feedback, people don't have time to surf on the website, so if we can just alert them to when things change, they can go back without having to go on there every couple of weeks to see what's been changed. So that's one thing we're going to be using probably into the future if people appreciate it. So really, as I said, it's really important to get on. We're really going to be putting the polish onto both the website and other aspects of NVT, so we really appreciate any comments, feedback people have. You can do this obviously through the Contact Us section, and that'll come through to ACAS and can be raised at the new National Advisory Committees for NVT set up in each region, and that's really the mechanism for change within the NVT. So even if you wanted to go direct to the members, you can find out who the members are by using the resources tab at the top in the website. So, and it wouldn't be a website talk without actually having the address up there. So if you haven't been on, make sure you write it down and get in and have a look.
Just can you let us know when is the data from last year all on the NVT website so we can see last year's results? What's the sort of time frame on that?
So the aspirational target for, I guess, the long-term data, obviously, I'll start with single sites. Single sites going into next year, we've negotiated with the statisticians that will actually have an 8-day turnaround from their end to get single sites analysed. So we're really putting the pressure on to try and get those results on the web. We've got the mandatory 10 days with the breeders for them to dispute or question the data, and then hopefully, within that sort of 20-day period, we've got results up from November onwards. The metadata, long-term predictions, are all done in January, and the aspirational target is every year to have those on by the 1st of February. There were some delays this year, so we were, I think the last of the data went up about the 8th of February, I think. So it's all up there now. 2011 is completely up there.
So we've got some questions up on the screen for you, Tom. So are you planning an NVT iPad app?
Okay, so no, that's a good one. New South Wales DPI have actually put together I think it's called CropMate, which is a really simple method on the iPad to get down to that region level and put in your classification, minimum disease that you require. Again, interrogating sort of that database information. I think it's free for obviously New South Wales data, but it's something we're definitely looking at for the other states, and it's relatively easy to actually incorporate South Australian data into that app very quickly. So if that's something that people really want to see, then by all means trace me down in the next couple of days and let me know that that's something you want, because it's definitely achievable.